A global retail company experienced a ransomware attack that encrypted its customer database and demanded a Bitcoin payment for decryption. The incident response team quickly identified the attack and attempted to restore from backups, but the latest backups were also encrypted by the ransomware. What should the company prioritize to prevent this situation from happening again? What should the company prioritize to prevent this situation? Now, I've taught a couple of CISSP boot camps, right? And one of the biggest things that I found is that students you have to quickly be able to intake the information, see what it says, and understand what it's asking you and what the solution is very, very, very quickly, right? You got to be able to read the question, soak in the information, dissect the information. This is what it there's this is what's broken, or this is what the problem is. This is how I need to fix it. Another thing is, a lot of you guys, what I found is, if you already have a bunch of certifications, you're already working in the field, you may think that um, you're a lot smarter than you really are. When it comes to the certification, let your ego go. Let your ego go, and just kind of be a sponge, because that ego will definitely catch up to you when it comes to the certifications as well as um, your actual career. Last thing is, even if you go past a question and you think that is the answer, I strongly recommend still read all the answers. Still read all the answers. We ready? Three, two, one. Implement an offline immutable backup strategy with regular recovery testing. Immutable backups cannot be modified or deleted by ransomware, ensuring that clean copies of data remain available. Your organization recently implemented a federated identity management system using security assertion markup language for authentication across multiple cloud services. During a recent security assessment, auditors discovered that SAML session tokens issued by the identity provider remain valid even after a user logs out, allowing attackers with access to stolen session tokens to impersonate legitimate users. Further investigation revealed that session expiration settings were not properly enforced, and single logout was not enabled across all applications. Given this situation, what is the most effective way to mitigate the security risks associated with lingering SAML session tokens? 3, 2, 1. So for this, you got to enforce short-lived SAML session tokens and implement single logout across all federated applications. Short-lived session tokens reduce the risk of token reuse in case of compromise. And just the single logout is pretty simple. Once you log out, you are logged out of all the applications, right? So if you have a single sign-on and it signs you into a bunch of different applications, the single logout means that once you log out of one of those applications, you're logged out of everything. Your company, a financial institution, has outsourced cloud storage services to a third party vendor. The vendor claims compliance with major industry standards, but during a security audit, your team discovers that the vendor does not provide detailed security logs and has reused or has refused to disclose their security architecture due to proprietary concerns. Additionally, the vendor's incident response policies are unclear, and they do not provide transparency regarding how they protect customer data against insider threats. Which of the following actions would be the best way to mitigate risks associated with this vendor? The best way to mitigate risk. So the best way to mitigate these risks would be to require contractual agreements that enforce compliance with security frameworks, regular audits, and full transparency of security controls. Contracts with security clauses ensure that vendors meet compliance requirements such as SOC 2, 27001, and regular audits provide visibility into vendor security practices and allow for adjustments as necessary. Not having full transparency when it comes to security is all bad because they could just say, hey, yeah, we're doing this, we do audits, but we got this framework, everything's cool, and they're not doing any of that stuff. You got a bunch of vulnerabilities and a bunch of things that are happening. And if you are the boss, if you're the manager, if you're the CCO, the CISO, if you are, the boss, it's going to come down on you. So you trust, but you make sure that you verify. So another thing, like I said, is I want you guys to be confident, but do not be cocky. Let's say, oh man, shit, I'm getting all these questions right. Let's just say that you got all these questions right. Good. I'm proud of you. Let's say you got all these questions wrong. Good. I'm still proud of you because at least you're here and at least you're trying. But do not get a false sense of confidence because guess who is not going to be in the examination room? Me. I'm not going to be in the fucking examination room whispering to you, telling you what the answer is, reading the question to you, right? So what we're doing here is something that is kind of a little drawn out, something that needs to happen like really quickly, right? So if you got 15 questions, and I say on the actual exam, you want to try and knock them out, in just a couple minutes, a piece, just to make sure that we stay on track, because we don't have a lot of time. We ain't got a lot of time. For example, if it's taking you, 5, 10, like if it's taking you like literally, if it's taking you 4 or 5 minutes per question, you're gonna be cutting it really, 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 really close when it comes to the exam. And then, like I said, you have to understand how difficult this exam is. What exam have you taken to where, the passing score is only 70%? If you get 70%, you good. If you get 700 out of 1,000, you good, which is awesome, right? But if you get 68%, it's all bad. But the good news is, if you take this, you take a L, no big deal. What I've seen, if you get in like, honestly, if you get in like the 50s or 60s, that's okay. That's okay. All right. That means that you have the concepts down. It might have been a bad day. You got the bubble guts, got into an argument with your wife, your dog, whoever, and it just didn't go the way you wanted to. But if you're getting in the 20s, 30s, 40s, that means that you don't even have the generalized concepts down, and you need to take a little bit more time and regroup. All right, you ready for the next one? Your organization has been the target of an advanced, persistent threat campaign for several months. The attackers have used zero-day vulnerabilities, sophisticated phishing emails, and living off the land techniques to move laterally within the network. Your security team recently detected anomalous outbound traffic to a known malicious IP address, which was traced to an infected employee workstation. Further investigation revealed that the malware has successfully bypassed the company's traditional antivirus solutions. What is the most effective strategy to detect and mitigate these types of threats? What is the most effective strategy? Three, two, one. So the most effective strategy would be to deploy an endpoint detection and response solution with behavioral analytics to detect anomalies and user activity and system behavior. So EDR solutions are machine learning based, and they use that to make sure that they can see how things go, kind of reference back to that data. And then behavioral detection is just pretty much how are things working normally? What's the baseline? And anything that is an anomaly or something that just doesn't seem normal, or some stuff that actually happens most of the time, will be kind of shown as, okay, something's wrong. You might want to look at this, so on and so forth. Before we get to the next question, before we progress any further, if you have not liked this video, I would like to tell you from the bottom of my heart, go to hell. You don't follow directions. But the good news is you have redemption. Like the video right now. I'm outside of your house in a black Suburban. And if you don't, never mind. Just like the goddamn video. And this is also an awesome time to give a shout out to our sponsors, the Zero to IT Pro program, a program that helps people just like you get the top certifications in the industry. All self-paced, all 100% online. We have a proven roadmap and framework that helps people just like you get into tech and pass the certifications that employers are looking for. Also, Zero to IT Pro is the first step to get into the Zero to IT Hero program. So you have to be in the Pro program, pass your first certification to even be eligible to join the Zero to IT Hero program, which will be starting again in September. And that's going to be the last Zero to IT Hero cohort for this year. Now, once again, let's say that you landed on this. You do not know where to start. This stuff is super hard. You have no idea what we're talking about at all. We also have a beginner program for the ITF Plus, and it'll give you all the IT fundamentals that you need. All that stuff is in the description, including access to our practice test vault that has questions just like this that will help you pass the most popular tech certifications. Now let's get back to the regularly scheduled program. During a routine wireless network audit, your team discovers an unauthorized access point mimicking the corporate Wi-Fi network in a high traffic area. Employees have unknowingly connected to this rogue access point, exposing their credentials to potential attackers. Your security team suspects an evil twin attack. One attacker broadcasts an SSID identical to the company's Wi-Fi to capture sensitive data. Which of the following is the most effective way to prevent this type of attack? So what is the most effective way? Most effective way to prevent this type of attack? Another key thing that I want you guys to be aware of is for this exam, you need an extreme amount of focus. So I would say the shortest boot camp that I've ever taught for this was 30 days. And these were people that were kind of already studying, already doing stuff. The last one I did, I think almost everybody was already in the field. And that was one of the biggest things I told them is that the distractions, right? You like on your own, it's probably going to take you 3 to 6 months to kind of feel even somewhat ready to take it. So I would just say you need to make sure that you take out all the distractions. You make sure that this is your main focus for, for as long as you need it to be. Another thing is setting a deadline. That's another big thing is make sure that you set a deadline. And one of the biggest things that would make you have to do this instead of just making it a damn forever thing is buying the exam and setting up your schedule as well. It's like scheduling your exam. So It's March. What is it? March, wherever the fuck month it is. Let's say it's March, and you set a date for June 15th or something. From today all the way to June 15th, you need to be getting it in, just being focused, and take it on June 15th, man, because you never know until you actually take it. Almost every person that I know that took it, nobody that passed thought they passed. Nobody. I've never met anybody that took the CISSP and was like, yeah, man, I knew going in, I knew when I pressed submit, that that I was gonna pass, right? Almost, most people, when they go into the testing center and the person gives them the paper, they already be like, yeah, I thought I failed, but they pass. Because remember, you can get a lot of questions wrong and still pass, but it's not an easy exam. All right, so you guys have more than enough time. What is the most effective way to make this happen? So the most effective way is implement a wireless intrusion prevention system to detect and block rogue access points in real time. So when somebody sets it up, boom, it's blocked. Solutions can automatically detect rogue access points and mitigate evil twin attacks by de-authenticating malicious networks and knocking them off the network. A multinational corporation recently detected an advanced malware infection on one of its core database servers. That malware, which had remained undetected for over 6 months, exfiltrated sensitive customer records in small amounts to avoid detection. Initial investigations revealed that the malware was introduced through a compromised administrator account, which had been reused across multiple systems. The security team is under pressure from executives to remove the malware as quickly as possible to minimize ongoing data loss. What should be the next step in the incident response process before remediation takes place? So we got a few more questions left. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to finish it. Hopefully so, because I got to teach a class in about 15, 20 minutes. So hopefully I can knock this stuff out with you guys. So what is the best next step in the incident response process? 3, 2, 1. So the best thing to do would be perform a forensic analysis of the infected system to determine the full scope of the attack and identify the initial point of compromise. Forensic analysis helps determine how the malware entered the system, what data was accessed, and whether additional systems were compromised. All right, gang, that was our training for today. If you did a good job, great. If you didn't do a good job, that's still great. You're still trying. Keep on coming back. I drop videos just like this on numerous certifications throughout the week. Usually drop 3 or 4 videos a week. Some CompTIA stuff, some Cisco stuff, some AWS stuff, some CISSP stuff, some CH stuff, all different certifications, because pretty much the baddest motherfucker on the internet that does this, right? So if you're looking to get into the Zero to IT program, make sure that you log into itmasterkey.com and enroll into the Zero to IT Pro program. That way you will be eligible to get into the Hero program in September. If you are just starting off, we have the IT fundamentals course as well, and also the practice test vault. All that information is in the description. If you like this video, if it was valuable to you, at a minimum, like this video so I can get into the algorithm and help more people just like you. Other than that, I'll see you in class.